I just want to say thank you guys, welcome you guys back. If the holidays were, similar to my holidays, I didn't eat the greatest, but I tried to think about it, and I indulged, and that's okay, right? It's okay. We want to enjoy, food and do what we can to make the best in this 2020. And so I'm just excited to see all you back, to get the ball rolling and to get 2021 off to a good start. So the only couple of housekeeping things that I'll say is three things. One is, remember, tomorrow, 3:00, you know where we're meeting at Metro. The other thing is, we can talk about this later. So if you have questions, put them in the chat, or we can talk offline. If we are starting the enrollment process for the second cohort of this program. So we're starting to pull names in. And so I would really love, if you have family, friends, or any ladies in your life that you think could benefit from an opportunity like this, I'll send you guys a link that you can send on to them. And so please do it. If you've had a good experience, or even if you haven't, if there's some folks who you think could benefit, I'd love to give them the first opportunity to get in, because we've had such a good opportunity with you. I'd love to use your referral as the opportunity to push somebody to the top. So think of that. The other thing is, last thing before I toss it over to the ladies, is a program that we've had at the Lynn Institute for a while is this thing called Foundations of Wellness. And Foundations of Wellness, we'll be talking about different topics that open to the public throughout the year. The first one, and I'll send you guys the link to be able to register, is on February 21st. It's 11:30 in the afternoon or in the morning. It's like a lunchtime. And one of Pam's colleagues, Karen Massey, is actually going to be doing a little talk via Zoom about how to debunk some New Year's resolutions things and how to get off going on a strong start. So it's free. If you're available and you'd like to get on, or if you know anybody who'd like to hop on, I'll send you that link. But if you have any questions, text me or put it in the chat. Otherwise, I'm excited to see your faces. And Pam and Taylor, I'm going to throw it over to you.
Okay, awesome. Well, I hope you guys had a good break. I know we took a couple weeks off, so it might be a little bit funky getting into this. So hopefully don't go too strong, but just strong enough to get you guys motivated again. Did anybody make any cool dishes, or did they eat anything delicious?
Nothing unusual. Nothing unusual.
Nothing unusual, nothing special for the holidays either?
Well, I did. I cooked, I like broccolini, but I cooked it for my daughter the first time. She loves broccoli, but she hadn't had broccolini. And so I roasted it in the oven, and she just loved it.
That sounds good. I remember you saying that before.
That's about the only thing different that I did.
Yeah. Did anybody have anything else or anything? Because I know kind of transitioning as we go along to this. I just want to, sorry, my dogs are in the background. Kind of like what we talked about before the whole break and everything. We talked about focus on habits. So you guys kind of think about habits, maybe eating habits that you had before that you felt like you could maybe focus on and changing. So we'll go ahead and jump back a little bit so if you do have your binders, hopefully you do. And you have pencil, take notes, because I know Pam and I are probably going to be saying a lot like we normally do. And we want you guys to take good notes so you can go back and refresh your memory, because for me, that's the best way I can learn things that sticks with me, so I can go back and read it. So on page 43, that was from the prior week, we talked about makeovers of eating habits. You guys remember that?
Yes. Yeah.
So we talked about the making over negatives and how we can focus on that. So I don't know if any of you guys have focused on anything throughout the 2 weeks or 2 weeks, how many weeks it's been, we're off, that you guys felt like, even if it's something small that you focused on, that you'd like to share with the group tonight. And yeah.
I stopped using sugar and baked a lot more and cut back on frying.
What was that, Jamie?
I stopped using sugar and stopped frying as much, and now with bacon And I've got my kids really involved in, like, we all be doing it. And my daughter's lost 2 pounds. My son has lost 4. So we're working on it. We're work in progress.
That's
Wow.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Jamie.
I mean, you've got the family plan going, Jamie. Congratulations. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Anybody have anything else they want to share about any kind of changes, small changes, big changes, anything like that that they're proud of?
Well, I know for me, Taylor, I am really trying to make sure that I am walking every day. And I know you and I talked about it's darker early, like if we get home from work, it's really hard to go walking then. So because I get to work from home like 4 days out of the week, I'm trying to make sure I walk during the daylight hours. And I walked right before class tonight. So I was really proud of myself because when I got home, I was like, it's a little windy. I could get on my couch and snuggle up. And I got outside and walked, and I was so proud of myself. So,
Good.
yay! Happy
Yes.
New Year!
Well, hey, you guys, we're over the hump of it's going to start getting lighter and lighter throughout the rest of the year. Well, then we'll go back again eventually, but that's the thing. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and move forward. So we'll go to the session that we'll be talking about tonight. And I don't know if any of you guys have a peek at what we're talking about tonight, but we're talking about breakfast. But how many of you guys struggle with trying to eat a good breakfast in the morning? No, I
Oh,
do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
Yeah. But how many times have you heard growing up that breakfast is also the most important meal of the day?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's very true. A lot of research shows that when we eat breakfast, and Pam and I were talking about this earlier, it really does get our metabolism going. And we'll talk about it, but we'll talk about ways that maybe if you feel like you're not hungry in the morning, maybe you don't have time, ideas on what can really motivate you to make sure that you're getting breakfast into your everyday routine, because breakfast is really important for every day. When we're talking about health, whether it's losing weight, getting those numbers where we want, breakfast is a big deal. And so if you'll turn to page 54, we'll go through that page, and like Pam and I have been doing, we'll tag team, but we'll kind of keep it simple tonight, and we're going to go through just see what's so great about breakfast. And hopefully reading over this, it's just to fill in the blank. So if you have a pen or pencil, and if you guys, we'll read along with it, because I want to make sure we're considerate of your time and that, we're not going over that. But if you have any questions or anything, please put in the chat box, speak up. We don't want to skip over something if you need a question answered. And so, so what's so great about breakfast? So eating a good breakfast helps you burn calories all day by jumpstarting your metabolism. And I've already mentioned that. So that it's burn calories, and it's going to help kickstart it, because overnight we've been fasting all night. We don't typically eat. We probably really shouldn't eat overnight, but we need our metabolism going. So the first one is burn calories. And so the second one, eating a good breakfast helps you lose weight. And it says especially the dreaded belly fat, but I think it's just focusing on the belly fat, but it's really great for our overall health as well. So eating breakfast helps us lose weight. And let me know if I'm going too fast through this. Okay, and the third point we're going to focus on is that eating a good breakfast helps you keep weight off once you've lost it, which is good news.
Say that again.
Yeah, eating a good breakfast helps you keep weight off.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah, there's that word bank at the bottom too. So that I forgot to point that out. So I'll help you out. So, and the fourth point is eating a good breakfast increases energy. So you can do more things you enjoy. And then point 5, eating a good breakfast increases our brain power by improving concentration, memory, problem solving, and hand-eye coordination. So that's brain power. So it does a lot more than just help us with our health. It does, I mean, we'll keep on saying this tonight, but it does, eating breakfast or just getting that going in the morning is really essential for our health and how our body is built. Point 6 is eating a good breakfast decreases your risk of 3 major killers. And you guys can probably figure these ones out. Does you guys know what these are?
Diabetes and cancer.
Diabetes and cancer. Yep. Those are 3 of the top, they're in the top 10 reasons killers, I guess you can call them, of individuals in the United States. So those are big ones too. You guys have any questions about that page? Or if you guys got all those fill in the blanks? Okay. So let's go ahead and move forward. So what are the chances? Okay. You guys see page 55?
Mm-hmm.
You'll see 25 apples. And so this is just a little statistic, sort of, you're going to call it. So you see 25 apples, and I have a task for you. What you're going to do is you're going to guess which number of apple I've chosen. So I've circled a number, and I want you guys to take about 5 seconds to guess which one, circle it, and then I'll see if you guys got it. Okay, so I want you to raise your hand if you circled the number 8.
I did.
Oh, wow, good job. Yeah, so, okay, I chose 8. So looking at everyone, we didn't really see too many people chose 8, and that's okay, but the odds were technically against you. So you had a 1 in 25 or 4% chance in getting that right. So it's 4% chance out of guessing what number I have picked. So pretty slim, right? So believe it or not, 4% is actually the same small chance that you have of losing weight and keeping it off if you don't eat breakfast. So think about that. Not a lot of people who do, like studies show that who do eat breakfast consistently are able to manage their weight and or keep it off. So now if you look at it again and you draw a circle or square, not a circle, just take your pen or pencil and circle the top 20 apples. So it should be the first 4 rows, and just draw a square around that. So you now have an 80%, you have 80% of the apples in the box. So this is like some math, just to give you some perspective, some visual. And that's the same percentage of Americans who eat breakfast every single day, which honestly, I think that, I don't know if that's exactly true. I feel like even less Americans than you would think actually eat breakfast. I know I asked at the beginning of class how many of you guys did, and I know didn't seem like, well, there's a few of you who didn't. So, but what we can see is that if we really want to focus on losing weight or keeping it off and being healthy, so we're calling it, breakfast is a really essential part of that. And so that's really just what that little tidbit was about. But
Okay, I have a question.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, you said 80% of people eat breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like regular breakfast, or grabbing a muffin, or grabbing something?
That's a good question. I'm assuming that it is talking about just something in general, because
Okay.
whether it's a muffin or
A candy bar, some people just grab stuff, and it's that I wouldn't really consider a breakfast. That's why I was wondering, because that seems very high to me.
It does, and that's a good point, and that's why this is an important part that I think Pam and I, or Pam too, are going to get into tonight to give you guys some really good ideas on good. I want to say like good ideas, I guess you can say, that fit within what we've been talking about so far and what types of foods we should try to eat when it comes to breakfast. So we're going to go ahead and flip the page over to page 6. And I think Miss Pam is going to take over on this one.
All right. Thanks, Taylor. That was awesome getting us ready for this part, because I think now that we've decided, or at least somebody said by research, 80% of Americans are supposed to be the ones that are eating breakfast and having weight loss success, then what about the 20% that are not? Maybe we tried to figure out, why is it easy to skip breakfast? And I agree with you. Is it Eva or Ava? Am I saying it?
Eva.
Eva, thanks, Eva. I love the comment that you made, because, you know, what constitutes a breakfast? How many people just drink coffee and call that breakfast?
That's true.
Right. There you go. So I think what would be interesting is, how was the research done, and what qualified as a breakfast? I love that you were, that's what I'm going to call forward thinking, that you're already kind of investigating to make sure that there's this understanding of what constitutes a breakfast.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into that in just a little bit, but why do you think people might skip breakfast? What do you think's the number one reason why people might skip a breakfast? If y'all want to unmute, you can, and we can all just say it at once.
They're late to work.
There you go.
Don't take time.
Time, right?
Mhm.
This is the sign for time. It's the clock winding. Yeah. So how many people just say, oh, I don't have time for breakfast in the morning, and they get up and they're out the door, right? Okay. What I have found for me is, if I skip breakfast, I'm in big trouble by the time I get to work, because as Taylor mentioned, we're not eating overnight. We're in a fasting state for the most part. Let's just hopefully agree that that's the majority, maybe. Occasionally, if you get a snack at night or whatever, but we're usually, if we're sleeping, we're not eating. And if you think about the word, what is it? Break
Break the fast.
Break the fast. So that's why we put that meal in the very beginning of our day. And again, I don't know if some of you have ever had a work schedule where you work at night and you sleep during the day. Has anybody had that pattern? That is a very difficult pattern for people to have, and also to have, I'm going to say, normal biorhythms, because they're against their biological clocks. You know, you usually you see people are up during the daytime and they're sleeping at night. And when you have to work when it's dark and then you sleep when it's light, your biological clock gets really weird. So if we are going to just follow that, we have a breakfast meal in the morning, we need to break the fast and we need to fuel, right? So Taylor and I talked about this. Coffee, although people might think it's a breakfast, it's actually just a stimulant, because the caffeine, and it doesn't have to be coffee, just coffee. It could be what? A soda. And anything that's got caffeine in it can stimulate you and give you a false sense of energy, but it's not a fuel that's going to give your body energy. So when you eat, or a smoothie, I'm not saying you have to chew, but when you ingest something that has a fuel source to it, so like what? Protein, fat, and carbohydrates. Those three main fuels are what we're looking to ingest in the morning as we have our breakfast. As we're changing from, we're in a fasting state, and now we need to get into a fed state, and we need to make sure we are fueling nutrition that's going to help give me energy, clarity in my brain. I loved when Taylor said, if you eat breakfast in the morning, you don't have that brain fog. You know, sometimes people tell me they take coffee in the morning, but by the time the coffee stimulant wears off, they are sluggish. Their brains are real slow, and they have that really kind of brain fog that keeps them from having clarity to get their job done or whatever else they're needing to do for the day. So understand, please, that breakfast is going to set the mood for the rest of your day. Have you ever done where you skip breakfast and you try to make it up at lunch? I've done that. And I was like, man, I know better. And I kind of didn't make it through the rest of my day. So just be mindful that breakfast does have its place. It gets you started. And we want to make sure that that's going to anchor the rest of what you're going to be able to get to for the rest of your day. So if we figure that the number one reason is time constraint for why we might skip breakfast, what are some strategies to help us with time in the morning? Can we make more than 24 hours in a day?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice? Let's just add another 20 minutes. Because how much time should you leave for breakfast to just even to eat it? How much time are we supposed to have for a meal?
30 minutes.
30 minutes or more.
15.
Back it down just a little bit.
20.
Minutes.
About 20 minutes. And that's, chewing slowly, making sure you're digesting everything from start to finish. It's about 20 minutes. And again, that's a recommendation based on research that says when people have that time frame for them to ingest their food, they have a better outcome for the nutritional absorption and other things like that. So how many of are we thinking we've got 20 minutes extra in the morning? If I wake up at the last minute, where's that 20 minutes going to come from?
You're not going to have it.
Not gonna be.
No.
Right. So maybe my first strategy is to do what?
Get up earlier.
Oh, who said that?
Prep
I
overnight.
did. Lobita.
I'm going to do this for the good answers that I love to hear. Yay. Yeah. Get up earlier. But what does that mean for some of us? We need
Go
to
to bed early.
Go to bed earlier.
Oh, ding, 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 ding.
Mhm.
It's all about, and Taylor alluded to this, it's all about our habits. If we go to bed too late, we're going to want to sleep into the very last minute. We're going to want to get up and just run out the door and say, oh, I don't have time for breakfast. That means you're going to have to back up. You need 20 minutes to eat. And if you I might shower in the morning, I might have some other routines. Who has to get kids to school? Or maybe a spouse, somebody else, it's not maybe just you in the morning. So you've got all these things that you're juggling. And then, I'm supposed to eat breakfast on top of that. So I think Eva mentioned sometimes we do these grab and go things. It counts. I don't want you to think that, just because I didn't sit down with a tablecloth and fine china, it didn't count as breakfast. It certainly does. But if you're trying to grab and go and you're in the car and you're driving and you're spilling stuff and you're not paying, your body is not your body is very stressful as it's eating. And we don't want that, right? We need you to be in a nice, calm environment where you can enjoy the food as well as the food is going to be a benefit to your body. So if it means maybe I got to go to bed earlier so I can get up earlier, maybe that would be a habit to start working on outside of what we're even going to have for breakfast. Does that make sense? Does that sound good?
Mhm.
Okay. So let's go on to page, get mine.
Hey, Pam,
Yes.
are we sliding on to the power up?
Yep. We're getting ready for the video.
So don't let me throw off your agenda too much. We got a time adjustment for a partner, Rhonda, who's on. Is it okay if we slide Rhonda in real quick before we go to the power up and then the video? Is that okay?
Yes, please do.
It'll shake things up a bit. It'll get you guys rolling.
There you go.
I know some of you were able to meet Rhonda on the 22nd when we had a little fitness session. I enjoyed it. I used some of the tactics over the break. So Rhonda, if you take 5 to 7, 10 minutes, what works for you to get these ladies moving, that would be fantastic.
You bet. You bet. We can get 10 minutes in. Thank you, ladies who were present the last time. You were heard. I'm back. And I appreciate the positive feedback. So we'll do chair yoga again since you like that. It's one of my favorite things to do as well. So it looks like my dog's going to join us here today for some reason. Let's go ahead and find your chair. If you've got one, preferably one that doesn't have any arms on it. If you need to, dining room chair, this is just a desk chair. Dining room chair works great. If all you have is the couch, then that's fine too. We can just make sure we've got room to move your hands a little bit. I want you to sit up nice and tall. And you're going to sit at the very first, like 1/3 of your chair to the half. Okay? We don't want to sit all the way back. I want you to scoot forward and pull that belly button tight to your spine. It's like you've got a muscle contraction. Somebody's got a string tied to the back of your belly button, and you're pulling it all the way back through your back. All right? We're going to sit up nice and tall, belly button tight. Just when you think you're sitting tall, I want you to sit even taller. Roll those shoulders down and back. Just kind of shake those hands out. All right. I want you to squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears. Really contract and release. Again. Contract everything nice and tight Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, contract it really tight, even your fists. And exhale, shake it out. Good. Now take a deep breath in. Inhale, up overhead, still sitting nice and tall. And exhale, release it down, straight out from your shoulders down by your sides. Still sitting nice and tall. Inhale up again. This time as you exhale, we're going to rotate to the side. This is my right side, should be your left. I want you to look over your shoulder and inhale up towards the center again. Nice and slow. Exhale to your right, my left. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Nice, slow, controlled movements. Exhale. Inhale, center. You're just twisting in that waistline. All right, we're loosening up our lower back. Inhale up. All of our core muscles. One more time. Exhale to your left. See if you can rotate a little further this time. Inhale, center. Really tall. Exhale to your right. And inhale back to the center. All right, I want you to drop that left arm. Right arm is up by your ear. Just grab your chair if you can and reach it over. You're stretching, loosening up those oblique muscles. Inhale up. And let's switch. Left arm is up by your ear. Make sure it's not over here in front. Up by the ear and reach it over, stretching your left oblique. Inhale up. Let's go back to that left side. Reach it over. Make sure that your right glute, your cheek, your booty cheek is pressed into your chair. Inhale up and back over. Get that left arm up. Stretch it a little further. Pressing your left booty cheek into your chair. Want to try to be as level in the chair as possible. One more time on each side. There's magic in the number 3 in yoga. We do everything 3 times. Inhale up. Exhale over again. And inhale, center. Now we're going to exhale forward. I want you to fold forward, but we're going to stop at 45 degrees. Keep your chin above your heart. We don't ever want to drop it below our heart. Keep your chin kind of up. Inhale, roll it up. You're going to stack the vertebrae one on top of each other. Shoulders back, sit tall. Exhale, forward again, 45 degrees. Inhale, roll it up. So we're going to arch the lower or your upper back. Shoulders down. One more time. Exhale forward. C curve in your belly. Inhale up. Exhale, drop it down. Nice. All right, so let's work on our legs a little bit. If you have hip or knee issues, I want you to just cross your ankles at the floor. If you're feeling a little more limber tonight or you want to challenge yourself, woo, let's see if you can bring that ankle up on top behind your knee. All right. Sit nice and tall. Deep breath in. I want you to exhale forward a little bit. Just kind of put a little pressure on that leg to open it up. You'll feel it here in your hip flexor, in that hip joint, in the bend in your leg. Doesn't take much. Inhale, sit up. Again, if you're crossing your legs at the floor, your ankles at the floor, that's okay. Exhale forward. Here's what that looks like. You're going to keep your head in line with your spine. So it's nice and tall, shoulders back, belly button is still tight. Inhale up. Here's what it looks like in the more advanced stage. Exhale forward. Ooh, press down on that leg a little bit. Neck is nice and elongated. And inhale, sit it up. Very nice. Release. Now let's switch legs. Take that right leg. Either cross your ankles at the floor, or you can challenge yourself. See if you can bring it up here and that ankle's behind your knee. If you need to, just sit here for a moment. You can skip this first exhale if you need to. Deep breath in, sitting tall. Exhale forward. Woo, put a little pressure, open it up. Yes, you're going to feel it on that inner thigh, and that's okay. We're not hurting anything. We're just stretching those muscles out. Inner thigh and behind your leg, the upper leg, that's your hamstring. Inhale, sit it up. You need to, if you're down here crossing your ankles, exhale about 45 degrees. Remember, elongated neck, elongated spine, 45-degree angle, chin above your heart. Inhale up. Last time. If you're challenging yourself, exhale forward. Here we go. Keep breathing. Exhale. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. And sit nice and tall. Very nice. Okay, so I want you to sit sideways in your chair. If you've got the chair, I'm hoping you got that. All right, so we were at an angle. I want you to sit all the way around, slowly bringing yourself one step at a time. Try to make that knee parallel to the floor. So our toes are touching the floor. If you want to challenge yourself, you can walk that leg back a little bit. We still got this. Grab the back of your chair. We got that right arm. Deep breath in. And exhale. I want you to reach for the wall in front. And inhale. Bring it back in. You're going to feel a stretch in your hip flexor right here. And exhale it out. Inhale. Bring it in. One more time. Exhale. Come on. Reach a little further. Inhale. Bring it in. Nice job. Now, let's bring the arm straight up by your ear. And release. Ooh, let that leg go. All right, so we're going to bring it around to the front, one leg at a time. Now, let's go the other direction. Small movements. Your knee is perpendicular to the floor. Grab the back of your chair. Sitting tall, belly button tight. Inhale, exhale, reach out to the opposite wall. Inhale, sitting nice and tall, bring it back in. Again, exhale out. And inhale, bring it up. Nice and tall. One more time. Exhale it out. Reach further. Inhale, bring it up. Now, bring the arm, swivel it all the way up. Sitting nice and tall, reach it up. And release. All right, bring it to the front. Sitting with your knees in line with your hips, ankles underneath your knees. We're going to reach the left arm up. Look at it. Slide that right arm down the chair a little bit. See if you can grab below it or the leg. Reach it up. Stretch through your shoulder. And release. Now, take that left arm, slide it down the chair leg. Right arm goes up by our ear. We're going to look at the palm and slide down the chair. Now, take that arm, reach it up towards the ceiling, really stretch through your shoulder muscle, or through your shoulder joint. And release. All right, let's do one more for our legs, and then we'll finish up with our bookends of doing the twists in our waistline. So I want you to grab the hamstring of your left leg. I want you to hug it in. See if you can hug it in up in line with your shoulder. Okay, make sure it's not out to the side or across the body. I want you to sit evenly on both booty cheeks. Those are your glute muscles. Pull it up as much as you can. And then I want you to kick out towards the camera. I want you to flex your foot. See if you can show me the sole of your shoe. Ooh, flex it. I know. Bring it back in and down. Let's switch. Right leg, grab the hamstring, hug it in. Knee in line with your shoulder. Hug it in. Sit nice and tall now. Keep that belly button tight to your spine. Just a muscle contraction. Ready? Here we go. Deep breath in. Exhale. Flex your foot. Oh, you should feel it in the quads, in your hamstrings, in your calves, even in your ankles. Press it. One more breath. Exhale, release it down. Nice job. Deep breath in, up overhead, still sitting nice and tall. Exhale, rotate to the left. Look over that left shoulder. Inhale, slowly bring it back to the center. Exhale to your right. Inhale, center. And we have 2 more on each side. Very slow, controlled movements and breath. Let your movements follow your breath. Inhale up. Last one. Exhale, around to the left. Last half. Inhale up. Come on, reach for the ceiling. Exhale to the right. Inhale up. And exhale forward. Keep your head above your heart. See if you can touch your shins. We've got 45 degrees only. Ooh, stack those dominoes. Bring it back up. Shoulders down. I want you to roll them back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Rest your hands in your lap. Take a deep breath in. Drop that left ear to left shoulder. Just drop it over. You should feel a good stretch in your neck. Should be. If you can really drop it down, you can feel it even into the base of your skull here. Inhale up, neutral head. Exhale, drop it right ear to right shoulder. Keep breathing. We're still sitting tall. And inhale, neutral head. We're going to exhale, chin to chest. Just drop it all the way down, nice and slow. Hold it. And inhale, neutral head. Exhale. Shake it all out. Even tap those feet and give yourselves a hand. Nice job, ladies.
Rhonda, thank you so much. I appreciate everybody on here being flexible. That's what I love about this.
I appreciate your flexibility and thanks for letting me come back again. I have enjoyed it very much. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you so much, Rhonda.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
And so you all know, you got a text from me or an email. The session we had on the 22nd, that's in your inbox. So all the exercises that we did on the 22nd, you guys have access to. You can go and rewatch it if you want to get those exercises. So we're excited. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Have a great evening.
You too. Pam, I'm going to throw it back to you. Thank you for rolling with the punches on that one.
You got it. Can you hear me? Am I unmuted?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, perfect. Okay, ladies, man, that was awesome. Thank you for Rhonda, because I'm trying to get in there too. I love flexibility. That's an exercise person that worked with us was always asking us, what's the best exercise to do? And she said, it's the one you're going to do. Right?
Right.
You can talk all about them, but if you don't end up, being flexible, if you don't end up being strong, and if you don't end up getting your heart rate up, which one's better? They're all important. So right. I so appreciate the yoga really gives you that flexibility so you can move into those next times of gaining strength and then also getting your cardio up. So I'm feeling good. I hope y'all are too.
Yes. Okay,
let's go to page 57 in your participants guide. And we're going to have a quick video in just a second, but I just want to set the stage here. So we talked about if we're skipping breakfast, maybe we've got some strategies to make sure that we actually get to the meal. And now what we want to look at is, and this is kind of going back to what Eva said, what happens when I've got, y'all see the 4 different ones? There's the first one's got 2 pancakes, butter, syrup, orange juice. The second one's got Special K and milk. Third one is 2 eggs, 2 slices of bacon, white toast coffee, and the 4th one is a cheese omelet. Anybody ever eat those for breakfast? Okay. I'm not saying those aren't good breakfasts. I think if somebody's taking the time to eat those, they're doing a good job. So don't think that this is something like, oh man, I thought eating Special K was good. It's wonderful. But the nature of this program on the road to health is trying to do what about your fiber?
Increase.
Right? Trying to get more of it.
More.
We're trying to say that more fiber is going to help us with our weight loss goals, or at least help the body to get there. Okay. So this power up challenge, what I'd like you to do, and this is kind of a homework thing on the side, but we're going to show you a video, the way Taylor and I powered up a breakfast, like this little cheese omelet on the bottom. We've got a recipe to show you. It's huevos rancheros for those of you that like Hispanic food. And we kind of powered that up, but these other ones on your own time, you can maybe think about how you would power it up. Maybe adding some nuts, some seeds to this special K, maybe adding some fruit, okay? So that'll be a kind of a homework assignment if you don't mind. And then we're gonna show you the one that Taylor and I did with our video. Doesn't that look good? Let's eat.
On the road.
On the road again.
That's what I think.
There you go. Go on, sing it.
All right. Okay, Pam. So what are we making today?
You're going to make huevos rancheros.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's eggs, right?
All right. Yeah.
And rancheros, I think, just says it's going to be really cool.
Okay. So cool. So is this it's going to be pretty easy?
I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And I think what I like about it is hopefully people can have maybe some jarred salsa. If you want to make fresh salsa, that's awesome. And I always think when fresh is involved, it's just going to up the flavor of it and obviously the nutrition. But I think these are really nice options that, you know, can cut that part of the food prep to a minimum.
Okay.
We're also going to use some canned beans.
Right.
And I know we have multiples of things, but I'm a comparison shopper. So I'm real mindful when I've got a certain budget that I'm working with. If I have things that I want to look for the quality because it's a brand specific, or if I'm just trying to really say, what can I get by with and yet still have a really good tasting results. So
right.
I want to be mindful of what the options are.
Yeah.
So
we got 2 here.
the beans, if they're canned, are probably going to maybe have some sodium issues.
Yeah.
And again, we don't want people to be phobic about sodium and salt, but processed foods are going to be their higher content. So what I really liked about this brand right here is it's an organic from Walmart. So their pledge is to try to really increase their organic offerings. And again, organics is not necessary for everything, but I think there is a quality assurance when the government is backing some of the things that they say are going to be associated with an organic choice.
Okay.
So anyway, this brand actually was more expensive than the organic. So I just want to dispel a little bit of the misunderstanding that organics are always more expensive. That's why you need to be a good shopper.
Yeah.
Do your homework and do that cost comparison.
Yeah, and I know also for me sometimes, I mean, I know I don't need to necessarily watch sodium, but for people who do, sometimes they do offer those options.
Yes. Yeah. And I was sorry, I was looking over here. Yeah. This isn't necessarily black beans, but Walmart is also offering this option.
Okay.
It's already cooked, but less sodium. So the canned version there's not that low sodium or no sodium option in the canned version. Maybe we can also have affordability here.
Okay, so that's another option.
A little bit more than this, but it still gives us something that's affordable, maybe $1.10.
Yeah, and you can stretch your food dollar a little bit more if you buy dried too.
Exactly.
And then you can save the rest for later for other things. Yeah. All right.
Okay, so what we've got is some tortillas, and again, saw a variety of different ones. We're trying to do changes to our diet, right? So On the Road to Health is saying incorporate more fiber choices. Whole grains are going to have more fiber in them than when we used enriched or bleached flour. Yeah, white flour. Thank you. So I looked at a couple of different varieties of brands. The Mission one is the one that we're going to demonstrate as well today. That has the whole grain.
Yeah.
And then I think you were mentioning that one did have more fiber, right?
Yes, it does have more fiber. It has about 15 grams per tortilla. And so that's something to consider compared to something that maybe the white version that says it's about 1 gram of dietary fiber.
Wow.
So it's definitely different. It's good. It's important time to pay attention to your nutrition label. I know it seems like a hassle, but it's going into your body. It's important to pay attention, even if it's just glancing.
And we know when it's a carbohydrate choice, if we put the fiber, if the fiber comes with the choice, it's going to help the blood sugar management.
Yeah.
It helps the cholesterol management. We're feeling fuller. So that's definitely an on the road to health strategy that we maybe haven't done before.
Right. Good.
Okay. So we're going to take some of our salsa.
Okay. And you just have 2 simple salsas. They're pretty comparable as far as if you're really concerned about nutrition, but these are great. These are These look like good options.
Yeah, I like the flavor of that one. I thought this one might have a little more name recognition to it, but certainly I think the sodium in salsas you kind of have to watch for. But the nice part is it's got some great vegetables with it, so I think we get a little bit of a trade-off, and you don't have to use more than you want. So
very true.
All right, so we're going to kind of divide that between these two.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the skillet too. So we'll be frying up some eggs.
Yes.
Before putting it all together.
And when you get the next part, it's going to be putting these beans. I'm going to take a towel. Always think about that. You never know where your cans have been. Mm-hmm. And you certainly don't want anything that's on the top of the can getting into your food if it's not what you're expecting. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go ahead and rinse these. Excuse me, we're going to drain them. You can certainly rinse them if you feel like that's another way to get lower sodium, right? Yeah, yeah, we were thinking about that. You can always rinse foods that you feel like have too much sodium on them when they're being processed, and that'll help reduce that amount as well. Gonna let that drain for a little bit. I think when you drain it, it just keeps too much of the liquid to make it this soggy. We don't want to do that.
Yeah. And then go ahead and just put the beans on there. We get the skillet warm.
Right.
It's right there. So we're actually going to be halving this recipe today. And we're doing some 8 eggs, we're gonna do 4, so you're gonna divide it up if you're following just the regular recipe. And kind of just watching it based on how it divides up.
Okay. And as far as your eggs go, I know a lot of people are concerned about cholesterol.
Yeah.
And the yolk is where you're going to find that cholesterol, but be assured that there's so many there's like 12 nutrients with one egg. And we were talking about nutrient density in our first session. So be assured that the eggs are going to be a great choice. 2 is 1 is 70 calories.
Yeah.
So we're going to be able to have probably for 300 or 400 calories a really nice nutrient dense breakfast.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you want me to go ahead and start cracking these?
Yeah, and I'm going to just put a little bit of butter on here for you.
That's great, yeah.
Eggs tend to kind of stick to whatever surface you're using if it's not a non-stick coating. So when you put a little bit of fat, and remember we have that fat-soluble nutrition that's with the egg, so we're going to put a little bit of fat with it as well.
The best at cracking eggs.
Well, the good news is when your griddle is right and hot, it's going to help your egg cook.
So probably should be a little
bit. No problems. That's okay. And I know we talked about this. You're going to let this part become opaque. Right now it's a little translucent. You can tell when an egg is finished cooking or getting close to where you're going to be able to flip it over when this is starting to be opaque. So, like now. Yeah, I would start over here, and see we still have a lot of this transparency, so let's let that cook up a little bit. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna let those cook a little bit. So as far as the different cheeses, we wanna talk about that one. I like pepper jack, I like the spice to it. You certainly could always include as many different spices as you like, but when it comes in with your product or the ingredient that you're gonna use, then that kind of says, oh, I don't have to have a really big selection in my pantry. Right. I can already have it in my ingredients, so that's a thought to consider.
That's true, and it doesn't have to be exactly what the recipe calls for, just what your flavor is. This is Colby Jack and Colby Monterey Jack. Yeah. So that's another option.
It's a little milder too.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you call for a sharp cheddar in a recipe, to me, it's almost a little dry. I don't know what maybe the sharpness of the cheddar. Okay. And it depends on what my flavor profile is. So if I like to have something a little more mild, I like to do that combination. And then this is the one I like when I want a little bit of spice in it as well. All right, so why do I want to buy it this way instead of pre-shredded? Yeah, because it's going to be more expensive pre-shredded, but as far as freshness, I am totally wanting to have not a lot of fillers, which is what you're going to find when it's pre-shredded because you don't want it to cake. Right? Yeah, yeah, much better. See, we've got most of it all things. There you go.
Not made for this kind of work.
You got it.
Oh no.
That's okay. Perfect. Yes.
I think we're able to
if our spatula needs a little bit of grease on it too. Maybe that's something that you can think about. All right, so make sure that you have a nice grater. It doesn't have to be really fine. You're not doing Parmesan or hard cheese. So we want just for soft cheese, we've got a nice opening on our grate. And this is going to allow us to have freshly grated cheese, which it's going to melt better, it's going to taste better, and it's just not going to have any additives that you don't need. All right, so the nice part is that those yolks are already kind of pre-cooked. We've got one side, so those should be ready to move to our tortilla.
So you can leave them running?
Okay. Well, that's a great comment, because we want to make sure we have some food safety issues. So the standard for what we want is to make sure that it's got some firmness to it. Okay. It's not totally running. Okay. All right, so I think this one might.
I'm gonna go and grab my cheese.
Yeah, this looks like it's ready to go. All right, so we're gonna just transfer it over here.
Okay. And it will be in the oven too. So this will be going into a 300 or 450 degree oven.
Yeah, and that's a great thing to remember. If you feel like your egg wasn't totally cooked for the yolk, it's gonna finish cooking in the oven. Thanks for reminding me about that one. This one I'm going to let go a little bit longer because I want to kind of continue that to be a little bit more opaque. All right, so we're ready to put these in. And I think what would be fun is to put maybe both cheeses, one on each egg. What do you think?
Or kind of mix them together? Okay.
Yeah. And this is the part when you've got kids helping you in the kitchen. They could do the shredding. That's, I think, a pretty safe activity for them. And then they certainly can be the ones that start to do the beautification of the meal, right?
Yeah.
I love it when kids get to put their own little spin on something because they feel like they've had that personal connection.
Half and half?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And I'm a big fan of having freshly cracked pepper whenever I'm going to do seasonings. So I'm going to do this for sure. And again, anytime you've got something that's already pre-ground, you've just exposed more of the surface to being.
So it's going to lose some of that?
Yeah, the nutrition is going to be kind of depleted, if you will. And it certainly is a lot fresher. I mean, smell that. Yeah, perfect.
Turn it off, and we'll put some cheese on this side.
Okay. And then after we finish with this one, to do the cracked pepper, you can always garnish with a little bit of cilantro,
Okay.
which I think is going to make it that ranchero part.
Yeah. Good point.
But if you have parsley, you can use any kind of, if you had some green onions, you can certainly garnish with that. So always think of the way that you want to finish the flavor profile that you're working on building. We had salsa, we had some black beans, we finished with some cilantro. So our huevos rancheros are ready to eat.
All right.
Yum.
Yum.
Yay, Taylor.
Without the eggs. I don't like eggs.
Who doesn't like eggs?
Me.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
Hi everyone, welcome again to my channel. My name is Jessica, and today I'm going to teach you.
I'll do it without the egg.
Okay. For rest of you, did that look like
do egg white?
egg white? Okay. Did
I
that
love
look
it.
like a nice recipe for those of you that do like eggs?
Yes.
It's good. I'll try it with egg white.
Yes.
I just do
Yes, I like
the yolk.
Okay. Well, I do want you to, Taylor and I did make a comment about the yolk. I know y'all have had a lot probably of people telling you that the yolk has got too much cholesterol in it and that you need to take it out or whatever. I just want you to be assured that the cholesterol that's in the yolk is not going to make your cholesterol go up.
Okay.
There are other things that happen in our food choice.
I just don't like them.
And that's fine. You certainly can have a preference. I want you to definitely enjoy your preference.
Okay.
But the reason why we put those black beans in the same recipe was to be able to have that fiber with the cholesterol potential from the egg yolk. And that's a really nice balance. So your body doesn't have to struggle with that.
Oh,
Okay.
And another great addition to that too, that we could have added and that you can add, is some vegetables. you could saute some
Yeah,
or something, throw it in there.
I could put some spinach in mine.
Okay.
I don't know, were we, Pam, I don't know if Anthony or you were able to get the full plate diet?
Yeah, so everyone got a link that I sent to them that, and if you guys saw that, if you click on that link, it'll take you right to that full plate diet that Taylor's talking about.
Yeah, so Pam and I were talking about that earlier, and in that, Pam, we're kind of running on watching the time a little bit, but time when you can to look through that, it will give some really great ideas on breakfast specifically, so you're not like lost in what you can do to power it up.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that was our example. So you guys, for homework, kind of fill in the rest of that page, okay, with some ideas that you come up with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take it
All
away.
right, we're gonna go ahead and move forward to page 58, and you'll see that it's the quick tips. And I'm gonna see if anybody's brave enough to read that whole page. If anybody's feeling like.
This looks like my breakfast.
There you go.
My breakfast, berries and grains.
Yay.
Yay. Yep.
Would anybody like to read that?
Okay, if the full plate foods on your breakfast plate are mostly fruit, you'll probably get hungry again quickly. So toss in some.
Hold on one second. Are you on page 58?
Yes.
Yeah.
Quick tip.
Quick tips.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're good. You're good. I see. I got lost. You're good. Keep on going. Ignore me.
Okay, so toss in some whole grains and a handful of nuts and even some veggies and beans. They will stick to you longer. An old German proverb reads, eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and supper like a pauper. Simple advice. Start your day with a hearty breakfast, then eat less at lunch and even less at dinner. This will help you burn calories throughout the day instead of storing them as fat at night.
Mm-hmm. A good visual that Pam really showed, gave me a perspective is a good way to look at it is think of breakfast as like this. And as we go throughout the day, our meals kind of the size of our meals like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Instead of, little in the morning throughout the day, because like it said on that last thing, we store, the excess energy as fat at night because our bodies are moving. So keep that in mind. Okay.
Okay. Taylor, I feel like we should go straight into your part on that very last part.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, because I
So when you guys can just kind of work, you can look through those pages. There's some reading, a little bit of reading. You guys can do that. I'm sure you can. And then are you ready to make a commitment? And we'll kind of follow up with that. But we're going to move to page 63, which is that moving forward. And then really what I'm going to focus on is not so much this page, but I do want you guys to always keep these moving forward goals in mind. They're small goals, something that you over time practicing more and more will become a habit. So I want you guys to read through that and set those goals for you. They're just like the same format we've gone over the last couple of weeks, but we're going to flip the page one more time. So remember, go back to that moving forward page later, but we're going to talk about SMART goals, which is page 64. Have you guys ever heard of SMART goals? The SMART goals are ways that we can reach our goal, but in specific ways. So I like this because you'll see that it's broken down. It's SMART. So we want to create goals that are specific, create goals that are measurable. So we see some numbers. So we see something. So if it's losing weight, how much are we wanting to lose weight? That's realistic or attainable is our next one. Attainable and realistic. We want it to be attainable. We don't want to say we're going to lose 50 pounds in the next 3 months. That's a big stretch. Maybe, or we don't want to sell ourselves short either and say we're going to lose 1 pound in 3 months. There's no motivation there, right? So you want to create attainable and realistic goals as well as have some kind of time limit. You never put a time to it, you're never going to reach it. If you say I'll do it years down the line or whatever, then even if it's years down the line, that'll be fine, but give it some kind of time element. So read over this if you're lost in how you should create a SMART goal for your health. but it will break it down more. And there's even an example on page 65 where you'll see this, my 30-day weight loss goal is to lose 5 pounds. So that's a specific number, right? And it's measurable. We can measure pounds. And then it gives you a start date, a goal date, your reasons for it, and then 5 actions. So that's really going to help you. It's like those habits. Just think of those habits we've already talked about. You don't have to come up with something new. It can be, making sure I'm drinking more water than soda, but being specific with that too. You don't want to just say a general. You want to be maybe a soda or water for every soda I drink, or 2 water for every soda I drink, whatever. And you want to adjust that. And then as you move along and you meet your goals, think of ways that you can make it easier. Once you've started drinking 2 waters with 1 soda, maybe 3 waters with 1 soda. Just to give you ideas. And if you flip it over one more time, page 66, this is where you can actually sit down and create your SMART goals for weight loss and your action plan. So that seems like a lot. And I know we're getting back into this and it's gonna be a little hard, but we really encourage you guys to take this when we're off here today. Don't have to be tonight, but you can think about it tonight and throughout the rest of the week. We really encourage you guys because this is what, is gonna help you. We could say all kinds of stuff, but if you don't use these tools, nothing's really gonna happen. So, but I think I'm good now. If you guys have any questions, I think we'll go ahead and move over to Leandra's portion if everybody's good.
Yeah, so what I know I have several things that we're gonna chat about for housekeeping. Leandra texted me. She actually had to hop on to something. She had something to come up last minute. So what we're gonna do next week is Leandra's gonna have a PowerPoint slide that she'll go through about hope. And so she may reach out to you guys throughout this week if you're interested in scheduling the classes. But I think I'm just excited. I'm excited to get all you guys back and to get things rolling. I didn't know if I would be able to say it, but I can because I was able to confirm it. We are very fortunate that there's a giveaway for tomorrow. And I may shoot myself in the foot, but I'm pretty confident it's a giveaway for everyone. So you attended, you were here, you'll get it. And so I know that there are a couple of you, I've got it in my notes. So if you're going, I didn't get last week's or that one a few weeks ago, I've got it written down. It's sitting here in my office. If you weren't here last week, I'll get you taken care of. So that being said, tomorrow at 3 o'clock, right? We're going to meet at Metro Tech, right? And it's okay if I've got a call and you go, "Oh, I forgot." That's okay. I'm not going to be mad at you. But tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Another thing I wanted to mention, and Pam and Taylor, if there's anything else you want to add, please throw it in there. In the chat, I just sent you the info for the Foundations of Wellness, a spot where you can register on the 21st of January. Unless I screwed that date up, 11:30 a.m. There's a Zoom where, like I said, Pam's colleague's going to be on talking about, getting the new year off right. And so it's free if you want to attend. Awesome. It's not affiliated with this program in any way, shape, or form, but I want to make sure I get you guys access to the information. No worries if you can't, or no worries if that's not something you want to attend. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, I'm excited. Thank you guys so much. I really hope that the holidays went well for you, and it's good to see everybody. So if you gotta hop off, go ahead. I do see that there's a couple questions, so feel free to go if you want to hear the answer to the question Jamie put in. Feel free to. But Pam or Taylor, would you guys like to see those questions? For those of you who hop off, we'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Hi, y'all. Thank you. It was so good to see everybody. Happy New Year.